we'll start with contacts. So the way the contacts works in Xero is all of the customers and suppliers and employees are in one segment, in one kind of database in Xero. So some other accounting softwares will have customers separate or suppliers separate or employees separate. In Xero, it's all in one module called contacts. Now, if you wanted to see all of the history of the information for each contact, you can. If I go to Bayside Club, I can see all of the invoices awaiting payment. I can see my bill. I can see my quotes. I can see all of the history of transactions. See email, notes. I can add a note to my contacts as well. And then you can see the contact details here. You've got the bank account details as well. I can attach documents to a contact. So let's say, for example, before you may have a process within your company organization where before you create a new contact, you need to have an authorization of some sort from management. So you can enter that there. I showed you that you can turn off invoice reminders. If you've got more than one contact, you can always merge. You can send statements out from here as well, and you can create groups. If I wanted to add a contact manually, I can enter it here. Now, the very basic information that I would suggest you put for all contacts is the contact name and the email. And the reason why you need the email is because you can email, invoices and receipts and SOAs out from Xero. So this is where you would use, why you'd have the email address. You can add an account number if you wanted to. You can add additional people. Here you've got the company details, website address, financial details. So these are your sales settings. So you might say, okay, for this client, it's always going to be tax inclusive or tax exclusive, and this is what would then be pre-populated in your bill or your invoice. You might want to add the default cost center for each person. Purchase settings, again, you might want to have a default account that you want to enter and a default account for your sales. Here you'd enter your tax ID number. So once you start implementing VAT and you want to include the VAT number on the invoice, you'd add it here. You can add the business registration number. So this could be like a trade license number. And then here you can also enter a credit limit amount. So this is a new feature in Xero. So what this means is if, for example, you put a credit limit of a certain amount to your supplier, so your customer, and you're going to raise an invoice and it becomes above that amount, you will get a warning notification to say this client has exceeded its credit limit. Please can you double check or something like that. You can enter default sales discount. You can also enter a default currency.
But it's not going to stop us from the transaction.
Sorry?
It's only a warning. It's not going to stop the transaction.
No, it'll be a warning. Exactly, yeah, okay. Exactly. Batch payments. So this is where you can enter bank details of your supplier. So when you make payments, you can verify it against here as well. You can choose invoice theme. So invoice theme is there's a number of different templates you have for invoices and bills, so you can use that. You can then enter a bill's due date and a bill's invoice due date as well. So this is like a default date where it would then be entered when you enter a new invoice. Here, the due date.
What is the difference between the bill date and the invoice date, due date? So
the difference between what, sorry?
Bill date and invoice due date?
Okay, so the bill is AP, invoice is AR.
Okay.
So yeah. So that's that.
So this contact information is common for both AR and AP. That's what you're saying?
So that's what, exactly, yeah. So AR, AP is in the same database.
Okay.
So yeah. And then Xero network key, what that means is, let's say, for example, you've got more than one Xero entity and you wanted to invoice within each entity. If you set up the Xero network key, what that does is it links to more than one Xero entity. So let's say you're invoicing entity A and you're using Xero and they're using Xero. You can send an invoice and it will go through Xero and it will create a bill on their Xero account. So it kind of saves time when you're doing intercompany invoices. At this moment of time, we've only got one Xero entity, but if you do decide to have more, then this could be quite useful to save you a little bit of time.